Brilliance Audio presents Shark's Pride by Angel Payne and Victoria Blue, performed by Aaron Mallon and Jacob Morgan.
There's no place like home had never rung truer than that moment. I was back in my private plane among my personal belongings, with familiar comforts at my fingertips. If only my nerves would settle into a calm state, we'd be taken off from Hong Kong within the hour, and I'd be back at home soon enough. So many balls in the air. Always so many balls. But it wasn't a new situation I found myself in, not by any stretch of the imagination. So why was I so agitated? I already knew the answer. The X factor jacking my system to red alert was Abigail Gibson. More alarms blared through my brain. This, whatever it was with her, shouldn't be this way already, should it? I had no actual frame of reference. Ridiculous, but true. Outside of the few internet sites I'd searched regarding the art of dating, I had no concrete facts to go on. Yes, I was doing research about how to date a woman. What other choice did I have? My father was a deadbeat long before he was actually dead. From that point, I was on my own. The only adults who took any interest in my well-being in my formative years were women. Not exactly the mentors a teen boy could ask for advice on how to get laid. And not that I ever had to worry about that specific topic. Until, once again, enter the X Factor. She was getting good at this role, my sweet Abigail Gibson, upending all the usual apple carts in my life. But I had this particular topic nailed down. Ironic choice of words, considering I'd enthusiastically nailed Abbi to her virginal bed the night before I left for Malaysia on an unscheduled 10-day trip. Unscheduled and terribly inconvenient. No, what was the word past that? Way past. Torture, persecution. But at the risk of pathetic redundancy, I'd had no choice.
As I accomplished a strong finish for the final 2 blocks of my Saturday twilight run, I listened to an old favorite playlist for motivation. Pop princesses warbled about strength and girl power, giving me a needed surge of encouragement. Since I'd been at the kitchen all afternoon testing out new cookie recipes, there hadn't been any time to head for a more glamorous route than the typical neighborhood loop. It was likely for the best. There was a certain comfort to familiar things. And right now, I'd take the little reassurances where I could get them. It was the first week of August. The air was warm, the breezes were balmy, and everyone on the planet was likely spending time near the ocean as the waning sun turned the sky into an orange and purple light show. As I turned up my final block, I fought to take inspiration from the sky's brilliance as well as the song playing in my ears. The artist was crooning about taking chances and facing life's struggles. The song intensified, as did my gait. I envisioned words on a motivational banner, as if Sebastian Shark were waving it at the finish line. Because all week long, he'd been the one heeding the song, making mountains move, pushing on and refusing to break, refusing to give up on me, on us. With my lungs heaving and my legs burning, I stopped in front of my building. I bent over and planted my hands on my knees. I hissed between my teeth, fighting that truth. Useless battle. This was no half-sleep dream or vague fantasy to indulge while sitting in traffic. This was a leap Bass was ready and willing to take, and had shown over and over again since our first heart-halting reunion in his office, and every confusing day since. He definitely had tenacious down to the letter, and worse, I couldn't resolve what to do about any of it. Did I escape or swim with the shark? Did I heed the screams of my logic and keep my heart intact, or surrender to the magical, passionate flood of Sebastian once more and risk becoming the next notch on his bedpost?